Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this precision farming test with me, Farmer Murphy. Today we're going to look at the effect of plowing with precision farming. As you know, in the base game, uh, if you don't plow, you pay a yield penalty. So I want to answer the question, is that yield penalty still in place with precision farming? And if so, is the bonus that you get from the environmental score enough to overcome that? So we have a field here on our test map that is in need of plowing and to be looked after. We're going to run a couple cycles on this. The first cycle here we're going to do is we're going to mulch, lime, plow, seed with a direct drill, then we'll roll and fertilize, and I'll do that in the second stage of growth with using the crop sensors. So that should give us the maximum possible yield in precision farming with plowing. If we take a look at our menu, we can see our field has an environmental score of 57 and our overall environmental score is at 58. And that's because we've done the soil sampling that it's moved it up a little bit. So, and you can see there also that our bonus at this point would be 2%. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the work in this field. I'm not going to bore you with the recording a bunch of the process. I will get it harvested and I'll bring you back in at that point and we'll take a look at the results of plowing our field in precision farming. So see you in just a second. Okay, so I've completed the first harvest, and like I said, I I did plow, but I did everything else to maximize the environmental score. And if we take a look at that, we can see we came up from 57 to 84. Interestingly enough, we didn't pay a penalty on the tillage, and I'm wondering if that is because I plowed, but then I used a direct drill to seed. So possibly we got around that. But you did see we did pay a penalty on the weed control. Because we plowed, we had no weeds, so there was no weeds to control. So it says we're going to get a 10% on our sell price. So we'll go ahead and sell that, see if that's the case. So that looks like that's pretty close. So I'll record those numbers, and now I'm going to reset everything and go ahead, and this time I'll ignore the plowing and do everything to get the environmental score up, and we'll see what the result is there. So when I get that done, I'll bring it back in. Well, our second harvest is complete, and you can see we got 57,830 liters, which is quite a bit less than our first harvest where we had plowed with 64,882 liters. So just to remind you, the first harvest, I did everything I could to improve the environmental score except plowing. And because I plowed, I couldn't do the weeds because we had no weeds. And if we look at the environmental score here now, we can see our average and our overall is at 100. And now our weeds are at full bars are at 30. And our sell price is going to be increased by 15%. Now, that was the only difference. I would have thought we'd have paid a penalty on tillage, but maybe we avoided that because I did plow it, but then I used a direct drill right after it to plant with. So maybe we avoided the tillage penalty, so we just ended up with a weed penalty. Um, so that's where we're at. I did the math because it's a different time of year. The sell price is a little bit different. It wasn't very much different, but if we were to sell our first crop at these prices, our total would have been 60,719. That is our base price plus 10%. So let's sell this, and we're going to have a 15% bonus, but on less crop, and see what that works out to. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll do that math, and I'll get right back to you. So that worked out to a total of 56,331. So basically $4,000 difference, $4,000 more on this field by plowing versus not plowing. So the environmental score doesn't completely overcome the penalty for not plowing. But we have to keep in mind that this is on this individual field. If you're on a large farm and have a large number of fields, um, dragging that environmental score average down, you know, might not be the best idea. So you're going to have to take that on a case by case basis. And of course, then there's all the different sizes of the fields and so on and so forth. But on a single field, if it needs to be plowed, you actually are better off to plow it and take the hit on the environmental score. Um, and that's the deal. So I was curious because I'm just in that exact situation on some of my games, and I wanted to know what to do. So now we know. Anyway, if you found this useful or entertaining, please give us a like. Uh, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that notification bell. But if you're still with me, really appreciate you watching. But for this little test, we'll consider it a wrap. And it's Farmer Murphy signing out.